what is it you're doing today then? In this drawing, little soldier now.
Right, well, yeah. Basically, I don't know whether you saw it last time, but I decided to start streaming me doing pixel art as just something to do is just start building some media stuff, really, for the blog. And so last time I just sort of went from sketch to pixel art.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'm planning on doing the same. Maybe if I have time, do some bit of animation on this as well. Get a little run cycle going or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how we're going to be, but I'll try to do a pin-up shot of this character and develop it.
You are, sorry?
I'm just probably going to do this pin-up image for this
Are you,
character.
are you talking quieter again, or
Oh, sorry.
have you moved the mic again? Because you're going really quiet.
How about that? I'm generally a quiet person. So
Yeah, that's come back a bit more.
yeah. But yeah, so I'm just going to probably do this pin-up shot of this character. I think I've posted quite a bit before you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not kind of developing the character as I go. I'm just drawing the stuff when I can, and as I go, like as well as I'm doing all that kind of stuff. Getting
No, your mics just keep fucking up. I don't know whether it's at my end toning it down or whether your mic keeps turning itself down, but it keeps going really quiet all of a sudden.
it's not the best situation where I've got it, so
Right.
if we do this again, I'll sort something better out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but then that art looks really cool. Really cool.
I mean, I've got some other stuff of her on my DeviantArt at the moment.
Hmm.
She hasn't even got a name yet, but we're going for the project name of Scuzz for whatever reason, because I've been reading far too much sci-fi.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. No, it looks like a really cool style. Oh, so yeah. So are you sticking with black and white like
Well, it
normal
depends how
or
far we get, because I'm
fair
really
enough?
slow with color, so
Right.
for whatever reason, so I'm probably just gonna stick just doing the line art. You know?
Yeah. Fair enough. So you still using just sort of standard brushes in Photoshop and nothing
Um,
crazy fancy.
yeah, because I mean it's been a while since I've actually done proper sketching in Photoshop, because I picked up a lot of like traditional inking stuff more recently for comics and things. So most of my stuff now is
Yeah, I
actually just
noticed. Yeah,
brush
I've been keeping
pens
an
and
eye on you.
brush
Well,
pens, and now I've actually got some like proper inks to
hmm.
test out and things. I mean, my work has got like so much better by doing that, but there's always the advantage of digital. So
Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, I don't think I've touched a pencil to paper in friggin' ages.
hmm.
Um, Possibly to my detriment, I don't know. Because I've got hold of the Galaxy Note 2, which has its wonderful pressure sensitive stylus built into it, and
Hmm.
so it's just been so super easy just sit on draw on that all day.
Yeah, I mean it's just what you
Um,
got access
I
to
found it
really, and
much,
and how
yeah,
often you
definitely.
can do it. So, I mean, with sketching stuff, it's a lot of like sitting down and actively doing it. Where if you got your phone, you can just pick it up when you want. So, I mean, I imagine with a kid, you're kind of
Yeah,
one hand
totally.
with your
Um,
phone, one hand.
yeah, it can be like that. Oh, and it appears that we have our first viewer.
Ah, lovely.
Actually, yeah, I should really dump this link into Facebook, which I really haven't done yet. Get onto our own stream page and see who is about and who we are, who might be watching and might actually want to interact with us. You never know. Someone might.
Yeah, someone.
Yeah,
Yeah, as soon as you're done that,
it's
I'll
already.
stick it
I know
on
it
my.
hasn't quite equaled.
What? haven't quite
Haven't
equal.
quite equaled the record from last time. I got to a whole maximum of 2 last time.
Ooh. Well, everyone's got to start small. I mean,
Yeah, I know. Big stuff. Well, yeah, and the video got some views and stuff afterwards. So, and that was the cool thing.
I've been playing around with doing kind of sketching stuff and then doing the fast forward of it, but it's just getting a good setup with the camera.
Yeah, yeah,
She's not a web camera or anything, but like a full-on SLR, but doing video, and it was just the weirdest setup. Giant
yeah,
camera sitting on my desk could only do 10 minutes at a time,
yeah.
so it didn't get garner the best video, but it's worth
Yeah,
a try.
yeah. It's something that I really want to try and expand into.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I'm sort of partly half-assed with the blog at the moment. So sometimes I'm full on with it, sometimes I'm not. I wish I had the time to be full on with it.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
for me at the moment, it
but
should
yeah,
be full
it's
time, but it's just getting the work. So
yeah, yeah,
I get bits in here and
yeah.
there, but
Well, the way I see it is you've got to try and do it from every angle. You've got to do the blog. You've got to, like you have been doing. You've got your Tumblr, you've got your DeviantArt, you've got your blog,
mm,
you've got your comic, but you've got to try and cover all. But you've got to try and get into video. You've got to try and do like everything, and it's a lot of work.
oh yeah, definitely. It's you got to find the people, and you got to be everywhere to find the people. Usually,
Yeah,
mm.
exactly, exactly. Right, okay. I'm in the Facebooks. I'm posting on the Facebooks, posting in the YouTubes. It's all go. Um, okay, super awesome coolness. Right, okay, so I need to work out the fact that I can actually control this camera, so I can switch it over to my screen, so we don't always have to be looking at yours. Ah, super evil me, because we've just been staring at your character's eye for a little while. I can make the people look at my ugly face. But yeah, we should probably have you anyway, because you're doing more at the moment. You're actually making shit. I'm just pissing about with sizes. What the hell size am I gonna make this dude? This is the question.
So, is there any idea behind the thing you're doing at the moment,
So
or
yeah,
is
I
it
want to
just a
try
random?
just a random guy. I knew I was gonna do this. So decided I was gonna do this morning. So I was like, right, lunchtime during work, I better make a little sketch to actually do something with.
Enough?
So lo and behold, this came out of my hand. So
Yeah. Well, I suppose just
I just
go
like
into.
making cool shit and sticking it on the interwebs at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. I try to do every day with my random sketches. They kind of turn out good or bad depending on
Yeah,
how
it's a
how much
great
effort I put
idea
in.
because I mean the only way you can ever get better is by doing it. So you just do it every day, and you're just gonna get better all the time.
Well, yeah, it's for me. It's always a case of looking at doing it often, but then realizing at certain points what you could do better and what you can improve, and then taking that forward. I mean you can see the eyes of this character that
Yeah,
kind of 6 months ago, I did eyes very differently. I did kind of eyes, kind of
Yeah, yeah,
did eyes
definitely.
kind of just like.
Yeah, everybody's style evolved.
But it's also I kind of did that through kind of reading a lot more comics and kind of taking stuff that that I like to look at, but then actually applied to the stuff I want to draw, the kind of feeling I want to get out from it. So I kind of looked at the way people did these kind of reflections in the eyes and how they used it. And oh, Craig, you on?
Right, can you hear me now? Maybe?
Yeah, it's very loud.
Yeah. Oh, okay, sorry. I will endeavour to tone it down a little bit. Uh, yeah, my phone decided to drop the call, so yeah, that was what was recording my voice.
All
So
right.
I've had to switch to the laptop. So yeah, I can switch between. Yeah,
I'm
people
not
don't
sure I
see
even
my.
noticed and just carried on talking.
Yeah, so after my face dropped out of the call, I didn't hear a thing. Uh, but yeah, you were saying that about your style evolving.
Yeah, I mean, it's for to learn your way of doing things is basically looking at what other people do and kind of appropriating from different parts of what you like. So the eyes have kind of come
Yeah,
from
totally.
the way I do my hair is the way I kind of. I mean, the stuff I've been reading is cyberpunk mostly, like William Gibson, Neuromancer, and things like that. Is kind of where this character
Hmm.
came from because I just love the themes that those books demonstrate, kind of depicted. So it's kind of
Yeah,
it's just the influences and how you kind of bring them out in your own work. It's recording that song.
yeah, yeah, totally. No, no, it's this is the thing. It's things that we're just getting started, and woo, you can hear my phone. Um, yeah, it's things people when you're just getting started that they don't realize that when they start out, yeah, they might suck, but they suck because they haven't drawn enough inspiration from everywhere else, and they haven't practiced enough and developed their own style over time.
Yeah,
I mean, it's scary looking back at my own stuff from when I started drawing. God, when did I start drawing? Like too many years ago. Not like that actually. Going not that many years ago. What am I now? 24, maybe 7 years ago. I started actually
mm,
drawing, like drawing to be good at it.
yeah.
Um, and to look back on what I used to be like, it's I want to cry every time I look at it. It's just like,
Well,
oh, I don't like it.
see, the way I see it is that if you look back at your old stuff and it's worse than what you're doing now, it's a progression there. So in like a year's time
Totally.
or whatever, you're gonna get even better than you are now. So it's just
Yeah,
for me,
exactly.
it's kind of inspiring because yes, I was a terrible artist even like 2, 3 years ago, and I probably am still terrible artist now, but I'm slightly better than I was then. As long
I
as I'm
definitely
not,
don't think so.
as
But
long as I'm taking up,
you could definitely see the progression.
no, yeah, as long as you're taking in what's wrong with your art and what you can improve, and not just carrying on blindly. I mean, that's how you
Yeah, yeah,
improve, seeing what you're doing wrong and improving it.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting talking about inspirations and stuff because my um, my initial inspirations for art very firmly came from watching lots of anime or what
Mm.
anime was available for us over here in the UK. Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, that sort of stuff, and I just loved it so much. And that's what what got me into drawing, and that's all I drew for
Mm.
well years.
Yeah,
Um,
and I imagine you didn't really improve that much while just drawing kind of manga anime,
no, I didn't. I really didn't.
because it is a very stagnant style. If you see what I mean, it's
Yeah, no, it
not
totally
that
is.
it's not that it's bad.
It has its set
Yeah,
rules. I think is yeah, it has its set rules that people follow, and there are there are a few variations in style, but at the time I was very focused on the very cutesy side of it. There were some specific deviant art people that I followed and would just constantly try and emulate their style.
yeah.
Um, and it didn't get me very far until I did start branching out and actually probably fair. Well, yeah, I suppose I should probably thank my actual proper art teacher from school because she gave me the chance to actually do art as a subject because I hadn't even considered choosing it up until sixth form, and she took a look at a sketchbook and asked me to do a certain number of drawings of certain things, gave me the chance, and then kind of pushed me to do different stuff.
Yeah.
That really is when my skills started to improve and forced me to use different mediums and stuff.
It's interesting because I categorically hated my art teachers because they just
Hmm.
didn't looking back at it, they didn't really help me in the slightest. They just kind of restricted
Right,
me in the
yeah.
way they wanted to do things. So if you look at my art now, it's comic book art. It's thick black lines
Hmm.
and kind of accentuated proportions and very stylized. Whereas
Yep.
all my teachers were fine art teachers saying, "Oh, there's no such thing as a black line. Never do hard outlines." But
Right.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's the way you want to stylize things. It's the way you want to interpret things.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
guess I
yes, I
guess I
would
was quite
probably
fortunate
be a
in that
better
sense.
artist if I, say, did kind of different kind of shading and stuff, which obviously is a way
Hmm.
to improve, and obviously I should do it. But
Yeah,
sometimes,
it's worth
it's
branching out
wanting.
sometimes.
Mm,
But yeah, you've got to stick to what you enjoy doing at the same time, and you do have to stick to your guns a bit and say, well, no, this is what I want to do, this is what I enjoy doing, and I'm gonna really well do it. And actually, to be fair, I did have to do that a little bit with my art teacher for the fact that she didn't understand digital. She was a traditional artist. She had never had a student that wanted to do anything digital. And yeah, I kind of opened her eyes into as to what actually could be done
oh wow,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean,
And she found it really interesting.
when I think about my art lessons in school, we didn't use computers,
No,
so
no,
it was a
I don't
very
think a lot do.
which is which I suppose is good and bad because the more you rely on computers, the more mistakes you can erase very easily. So, and
Yes.
using the inks and stuff, it makes you adapt to those mistakes with like real
Hmm.
pens and paints because you have to like get rid of those errors if you think they're
But yeah,
errors.
there's no undo button.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's what we're doing now.
yeah. No, there's yeah. This is the thing. I mean, there's been so many times when, as sad as it may sound, I've been drawing away on paper, and I just wish there was an undo button.
Mm,
All of a sudden, you make a mistake if yeah, especially if you are working in a more permanent medium like inks, or even if you just even if it's just pens and things, you make a mistake and you just suddenly you suddenly miss your undo button.
yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, that usually ends up, oh, I'll just make this hard black shading, But often that leads to better things. So
Yeah,
it's
totally. Oh yeah, there's definitely something to be said for learning and adapting from your mistakes. Definitely. Oh, this hand is horrible. Let's do that again. Oh yeah, I need to remember to keep switching over. Because I think I was just showing me filling in pixels. And you're evidently doing something far more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to try out different things with this character at the moment. Right now, this image
Mm-hmm.
is very much a kind of mechanic or something. But one of the kind of things I want to develop with this character and the story is to have a
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, be a real character, have different clothing, different, and develop over the site. So you see her on different days, and not because obviously a lot of my designs come from superhero and comic designs, but I want it to be a bit more real than that, but still have a kind of iconic. So the design
Mm-hmm.
kind of becomes more of their uniforms, but still her clothing. If you see what I mean. Something that
Yeah, yeah.
represents her, but it's actually just everyday clothing.
Hmm. Well, yeah, that's kind of the beauty in character design, isn't it? You've got to make the character both believable, um, bel what she's wearing's got to be believable, but
Hmm.
at the same time, it's got to be unique enough that, um, yeah, people are gonna, can pick that character out in a crowd,
Yeah,
or just from a silhouette.
and it's the funny thing is that what those decisions come from often lead to better story and better kind of character backstory. So see this kind of neck break
Yeah,
thing you see here. Is that my original idea was to have a character that lives for
yeah, yeah.
hundreds of years and see the development of kind of society. But then I thought, oh, how do you get
Hmm.
that? And then I'd already drawn this kind of weird cyberpunk character, and I thought, oh, immortality is a kind of thing that I always want to go down as a route in kind of storytelling. So kind of,
Yeah.
and then appropriating what I'd already made into the kind of story development. So it then becomes that like an accident or an event which made her get this like neck brace thing is the reason why she can live for so long. Again, it's very early days for all this stuff,
Right. Okay.
but it's something I'm kicking around
Hmm.
while I'm doing everything else. And I'm really going to have to find some way to hold this mic better because it's
Yeah, yeah.
really. I'm going to mute myself for a second.
Well, as a plus, okay. I was gonna say as a plus, I'm able to turn you up more now that I'm plugged into my PC. So hopefully it won't be too much of an issue, and it'll still pick up on the recording. Well, that wasn't a promising noise.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello, you still there?
Hello?
Still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. Awesome.
This is
Wonderful. Yeah, okay, yeah. As I was saying that, yeah, I've got more control of your volume now,
alright.
which is useful. So it's just, yeah, hopefully it's picking up on the on the recording and on stream. Um, but we shall see.
You'll be
'Cause I
pretty
don't know
pleased.
how
I don't have video right now, so.
you're looking pretty dishevelled.
Well, no, more the place where I've got the microphone held.
Oh, nice, even better. But that's okay. So, Yeah, we got our one viewer back again.
Hmm, just gonna edit this out a bit. Too wide apart, actually.
Right, yeah, I need to crack on. I'm being really, really lazy just chatting away here. I'm never gonna get anything done. But yeah, I don't know how much you know about the live Google Hangouts thing,
No, I
how it works, but this is going out live on. This is all going out live on YouTube. Uh, yeah, there's a link up in the on Facebook and on the event on Google Plus, and then as soon as we're done and we hit end broadcast, this all gets automatically uploaded to YouTube in the full version for people to watch back and enjoy if they so wish,
yeah, awesome. It seems really
which is
slick and
pretty freaking
effective.
cool. Yeah, it seems to work really well for this sort of format, which is why I kind of want to do some more.
Yeah, I mean,
Which is why I'm thinking of turning this into sort of a weekly video cast.
yeah, that's something I'll be on board for. If I can get the setup a bit better, but it's definitely a fun thing to do. Maybe get other people and on-off guests.
So did the audio go funny then for you at all? I just realised that I just had the actual live video playing back on a different tab in YouTube,
Oh,
and I
right.
started hearing myself. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's this coming from? That's all sorted. But yeah, it seems a little flaky trying to get video of ourselves going at the same time, but we shall see. Because in theory, I can end the screencast and I can actually say hello to everybody because I have my little webcam and I'm looking pretty disheveled myself after a full day's work. But hey ho! Oh wow! We've got a record number for. Oh, we had a record number of 2 viewers for a second there. Yeah, I'm gonna put my screen back on because I'm not looking great.
Could you send me the link over Facebook or something? I'll tweet it out so people.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Um, but yeah, I do wanna just turn this into sort of a weekly thing and get other artists, get more than just me and you in, just get just see how many we can get in. I know Sammy P's already up for it. Um, and Andy Allen, he's interested in doing like some voxel type stuff, which would be equally interesting.
Voxel, as in
Yeah, voxels, as in 3D
yeah,
pixels.
yeah, the cubes.
Yeah, uh,
I'm quite interested. I've played a couple of games where they use them. It's a pretty weird medium, but it's quite interesting.
yeah, he seems to be getting involved in. There was a Kickstarter campaign for a game that used voxels, and I think he's getting involved in making some stuff for them. Um, So yeah, it'd be interesting to get him on because I've not done any of that sort of stuff before, and I'm quite interested in
Mm.
how he does it all. Because we're both used to using things like 3D Studio Max and Maya to make proper 3D stuff.
Mm.
It'd be interesting to know what he uses for voxel stuff.
I imagine that all of it's kind of to take 3D models and then kind of transfer them over to.
Yeah, possibly. I'm not sure. It's either that or I guess yeah, you just sort of in 3D space you sort of click a grid, I guess, and draw pixels. So yeah, that's hopefully going to be for a future episode. Yeah, so it'd be really interesting. So yeah, this is why I've titled this Digital Art Live 001 in the hope that we will have more.
Well, it's a good idea, and I'll be glad to join it more often.
Excellent, excellent. And it also helps because it seems Friday evenings I'm able to get the house to myself because at the moment I'm living with my mother-in-law, so that me and Jess can save for the mortgage. So it seems Friday night everyone's out,
Oh, okay.
including Jess and the baby. So um, yeah, it's all I have is a dog and some cats to deal with, and they're being nice and quiet at the moment. So may not be the case shortly when I say shortly later when someone decides to knock on the door and the dog goes crazy. But
Well, you won't know. It's been last year. I've acquired a dog.
oh, I think I did see. Yeah, was it a Labrador puppy or something
Yep,
you got?
Rottweiler.
Oh right, even better.
Yeah. It's not my decision. My dad's retirement idea, but
Oh right,
been a bit chaotic last year, let's say. But
yeah,
thought of it.
dogs are good for that.
Yeah, especially when you have a cat as well.
Yep, yep, know that one. Yeah, me and Jess had a dog for a while, but unfortunately we had to get her put down
Oh,
because she had a hip dysplasia.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, no, dogs and cats throwing them together is always interesting because we've had to bring our cats with us to my mother-in-law's house, and the dog is she thinks we all need protecting from the evil tyranny of the cats, and decides to guard us at all times and chase away the cats. So it's always fun. So yeah, I guess we should go back to talking art rather than talking dogs and cats.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm just putting in the foreground writing that I had an idea for wire I'm gonna add because of again because I'm kind of very fluid on what the idea for the character is. So
Yeah, yeah, just making it up as you're going along.
I mean I have story ideas over them, but given
Hmm.
she's immortal and can do whatever I want to her
Yeah,
to it.
this is true. This is very true. But yeah, I just have a strange. I don't know whether it's a strange technique, but my sort of technique of going over various bits of my drawing with varying colours, um, just to basically outline the pixels because
Hmm.
you don't want thick pixel lines. You want sort of the nice thin sort of staggered diagonal lines.
Yeah.
Um, so
Like
yeah,
the kind of staircase.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So so yeah, I sort of like to outline everything first, which can be a bit slow sometimes, and
Yeah.
takes a little while to get a nice result, but I think it does pay off in the long run. Um, yeah, I'm kind of making this character up a bit as I go along as well, as I only sort of threw the sketch together more as a reference pose than anything at lunchtime today. Uh, only getting half an hour for the lunch makes it a little bit difficult to try and knock the whole drawing together.
Yeah, this is the difference between digital and regular. Is that for me, I can knock out a sketch on paper in like 20 minutes. I did this
Yeah, yeah.
kind of initial pencils for this were done in about 20 minutes. It's not the
Hmm.
best thing I've ever done, but it's definitely usable for this.
Yeah, I mean this sketch probably took about 10 to 15, and I am getting faster, but it is taking time to get fast.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it didn't help that I had to go and watch the first part of the season finale of Strip Search that was released today as well. Have you been watching that?
I have not, and I'm not sure why really. I've
Oh,
watched bits of it.
sacrilege!
It seems alright, but I've kind of fell in and out of fandom of them, I guess. I still love the comic.
Right, just
Some of their
Penny Arcade in
some of
general.
their
Or...
business stuff is a bit irksome to me, but whatever. They're still entertaining. So
Yeah, it's more interesting to watch the way other people do their shit.
yeah,
That's the interesting thing for me. It's been absolutely fascinating to watch watch other people work and how fast they can work. More to
yeah.
the point. Um, yeah, and doing all sorts of interesting challenges as well makes it interesting. And it's really inspired me to do more. Um, it's I don't know, it is highly entertaining because you've got all these different personalities mixing together in under one house and getting them doing silly things like getting them to play silly games where they have to run around and they're all artists that are used to being inside in front of computer screens and on paper and everything. Right, actually, yeah, I never sent you this link to the live stream, did I? On Facebook. Wasteful of me. Oh, this isn't how, but I'm running on a really, really crappy laptop at the moment as well. It's really awful. It's sort of, it's straining under the weight of, of streaming and photoshopping at the same time. Alright, there we go, you have a link. Tweet it! Tweet it now! Right, yeah, let's close Facebook. If that's okay. I don't know whether I can close this Google Plus tab or not, or whether it's just going to break everything, so I'm going to leave it alone.
I have tweeted.
Oh, right, yeah. If you awesome. I would definitely recommend if you do have time to go and watch Ship Search. It's definitely if nothing else, it's inspiring.
Hmm.
And it does have a bit of business advice and stuff for startups behind it as well. Really.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
they try to do the kind of a whole nine in the yards with it, don't they? Not just make it
yeah,
the lifestyle of it, because that
yeah,
side of their
definitely.
business is very reactionary and almost need the speed there. But it honestly depends on what you want to create.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it's interesting because it gets the contestants to do branding exercises, designing T-shirts and things, and setting up merch booths at conventions and all this sort of thing, and getting to hear people who are successful at its feedback
Hmm.
on what they did well and what they didn't do well is really interesting to hear.
Yeah, definitely. Mate. I mean,
Even just listening to
overall, that kind of stuff you learn on the go as well,
yeah,
compared to
definitely.
just kind of me as kind of self-employed man for 6 months or so.
Hmm.
I've done a convention. I've learned how to. Well, I'm still learning really.
Right, yeah. How did that go?
No,
How did
it
that
went
go
alright.
for you?
It went alright. It
Yeah.
was could have been better, could have been worse. It was one of those. Let's just try a load of stuff and see what happens. And it was
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
fun. It was almost this.
Yeah, did you get lots of people coming to your booth then, or was it? I'm assuming it was a booth type setup
Yeah,
type
it
thing.
was me doing sketches for sale and just kind of selling
Right,
posters
right.
and advertising the comic and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
It was more that one especially was more for the experience than anything. It was, after a point, it's just very surreal when the fifth group of Star Wars characters walk past the booth.
Yeah. Which convention was it?
It was the Birmingham MCM convention, which is they do
Oh, right,
MCM
yeah.
do like 3 or 4 up and down the country. There's London, Manchester, and I think Glasgow. This one this year, which I think
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna try to get to that
Yeah, I
one.
nearly went to the London one. Nearly went to the London one a long time ago. I managed to score myself some free tickets from the Neo, the um, anime
Yeah,
magazine that's over here. But then I had no way of getting down to London, and I was quite young at the time, so
yeah.
God knows my parents wouldn't let me go down to London on my own. So yeah, that never happened. I've always been interested to go to that sort of thing because I really haven't been to them. Only Conquest and Derby for RPG stuff.
There's another one in Derby. There's an anime one, which I'm gonna maybe try to get to, but
Yeah, AMFE.
yeah, it's a very like
Uh,
insular place.
yeah, well, that's run by our good friend Will Long.
Hmm.
So if you need to get in on that, you need to have a word in his ear, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, actually, he's setting up a steampunk shop in Burton or Derby or one of the two.
Hmm.
And he's going to be doing a steampunk convention over in Derby as well, which should be interesting.
He's always all over the place, isn't he? Just
He is.
kind of starting things
He
and
is.
stopping things and all very weird
Hmm.
sometimes. But
So yeah, I'm really not feeling very optimistic about the amount I'm going to get done, considering I've forecast this to go on for another hour, and I've done
you've got a few
a
colours.
few lines of pixels. It's really not looking great. Yeah, getting there.
Well,
Ah well. Yes, I see that you're using the ever wonderful free copy
yeah,
of Photoshop
yeah. Tell
CS2.
me one.
How are you finding
It's
it?
okay. It's I would really love to have done the newest version, but you know.
Yes, money restrictions and all that. Yeah, it's what I've been running on this laptop for quite a while now, and it's kind of useful because it's not so powerful. It actually doesn't destroy this laptop's
Yeah.
processing power. But luckily, I do have access to the latest versions in work. Because I've got the cloud subscription, whatever it's called, Creative Cloud. That's the one.
Oh
But
yeah.
to be honest, I mean, I started trying to use the the new 3D functions and everything with it. It was all nice at first, but then I don't know. I just kind of there wasn't any other new features that I was using on it, so it was
Yeah.
kind of pointless. Because I ended up learning how to use Blender instead for doing 3D renders of stuff. Because I was only doing very simple 3D, like 3D mock-ups of merchandise and things, sort of standees and that sort of thing. Yeah, so it was easy just to learn Blender for that instead.
For me, for comic stuff, I'm gonna pick up SketchUp because
Oh, SketchUp.
yeah, just simply to kind of very quick. kind of background scenery because
Yeah.
a couple of several comic book artists I know use that as kind of very quick ways to
All right.
background scenes, just so you can have a continuity
Oh.
of the background, so you're not redrawing
Yeah. No,
the
that's
same things
interesting.
but slightly different every time. The book
Yeah, that's an
Rubber
interesting
Vengeance
idea.
uses it quite a
Hmm.
bit, and they always have very consistent art. So actually, their art is pretty good.
That's an interesting idea. Yeah, I don't know whether you saw. I did try and kind of am and I'm not starting a webcomic.
Yeah.
It didn't get so far it's only got to one strip. I have all the art for another strip, but I've just not actually had the time to sit down and put it together as a strip. But I think I got a little bit heady after watching Strip Search,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh my god, yeah, I could make a comic. And then suddenly realized, oh my god, I don't have time to make a comic. Um, it's still something I want to do, but I don't know whether it'll actually come together as a thing.
Yeah, it's always worth a try, you know. So you never know what can lead to new places, really.
Yeah, I mean, I was planning. It was just gonna be sort of a sort of slice of life, um, very Scott Pilgrim geeky type thing that I was planning on doing. Um, and it's actually it's probably going to be spurned on even more as of Sunday because I have ordered ordered got my wife to order for me 1 to 6 of Scott Pilgrim um, for Father's Day.
Ah. Oh yeah, you.
As I lent them from you, and it's your fault that I love it, and it's your fault that
You know,
I've watched the film.
I still haven't got Volume 6. I've read it, but I
Really
still haven't got it. I
disgraceful.
lively booked it.
Nice. Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, how has this not existed before? It's such a good idea.
yeah, yeah. No, I love it so much. Um,
Brian Lee
so,
O'Malley should be coming out with a new book soon, actually, called
oh really?
Seconds.
Ooh,
Or it's either coming out or he's starting to draw it soon. I can't remember which, but
right, okay. Either way, it'll happen soon. Oh, that's really cool. It's good to know. Because I'm terrible for keeping out. I'm not up to date on my comic news in the slightest. Um, um, I've got a friend in work who is very into his comics, but um, well, we don't talk enough about it because I don't know enough about it. Because I always relied on you when I was in Derby for all my comic information and news.
well, yeah, I always want to keep up with it. I
Yeah,
I'm not really reading a lot of new stuff at the moment, but I'm always kind of keeping it every now.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
how many free comics are on Comixology?
Right, I see. Have you? What do you think? Have you seen the? Wow, what's it called now? On Geek and Sundry, their new vlog, one of their new vlogs. Oh, I can't remember her name. But it was basically a girl's doing a weekly comic um, video podcast type thing.
All right.
Um,
I've recently only started like actually watching Geek and Study stuff, not necessarily the vlogs or whatever, but
oh really?
the kind of the tabletop gaming stuff they do.
Oh, I love tabletop.
Which
Love tabletop so much.
you know what it made me miss playing Dungeons and Dragons and things with you lot. I was so
Yeah,
into.
yeah, man. I had been having some serious withdrawals until I managed to get a band together in work. I managed to convince some people to play.
Hmm. It's just one of those things where you can't beat it really.
No, definitely not.
As
It's
much as video games and things are good at capturing the atmosphere and whatever,
hmm
RPG stuff is
yeah,
it's very good at bonding with other people through imaginary events.
yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, the only thing is all the people I'm playing with are really new, so I'm sort of trying to manage their character sheets, and I made the mistake of wanting to play D&D Next with them, which is the latest incarnation.
Yeah.
It's currently in beta and it's all changing constantly and being tested. So everything was changing all the time, and it was just getting mad trying to carry all these 3 character sheets and sort them all out. And so I decided to just revert back to 4th edition.
Yeah.
But that
Be as
now,
simple as possible, unfortunately.
yeah, but now that means I need to go and convert all their character sheets over to 4th edition. So I've created myself work again, but it's going to be worth it because we were having so much fun when we were playing. The only reason we stopped was because they leveled up and I needed to sort their character sheets out. And then I moved house, so. But yeah, it's going to be so much fun. I love playing it. It's just it's just one of those activities. You just get yourself lost in a story and enjoy just sitting, chatting with people, making stuff up and doing cool stuff. Rolling dice. Rolling dice is always cool. Everybody loves rolling dice.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I recently opened my giant box of magic cards as well, just to read through them.
That's also dangerous.
Yeah, it made me want to play again. But I did those sketches the other week, like a daily thing.
Yes, I saw some of you were sort of mashing cards together.
Yeah. I mean, it just reminded me of the fun of that game, really. Like,
Oh
isn't
yeah.
all the seriousness of like the deck building, but there's just the weird things you can do in it.
Oh, the madness of it all. Yeah,
Yeah.
my crazy cat lady cuts your giant rhinoceros and does this and that and the other, and now I have a million monster that's going to destroy you, but you countered it with 1 card and now it's gone. Yeah, no, Magic the Gathering is a wonderful game that again, because of being in North Wales and not there not being that many geeks around. I don't get to play anymore.
It's all annoying. It's just getting the time to do that stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I'm looking forward to introducing my daughter to all these wonderful things. Start her off gently and get her into board games and sort of storytelling games, and then transition that into playing things like Dungeons and Dragons and right. Wow, I have officially outlined this wonderful character.
Hey,
Woohoo!
he has very baggy trousers.
So yeah, you also
He has very baggy trousers.
he does. I like baggy trousers. I don't know why. It's just something that a lot of my characters have is baggy trousers.
Well, it gives it a little bit of
I
a.
think I used to use it as a way. Well, I think I used to use it as a way because I didn't know anatomy very well when I was learning, and
Yeah.
then I just came to really like them. And now, even though I can draw the anatomy, it's just like, yeah, put some ruffles in it, it'd be fine.
Yeah, but for me, it's been
Right,
very
let's
much
start on this dude's face.
just kind of transitioning from just all this stuff I wear all the time, which would be baggy trousers and t-shirts, like what it used to be, to
hmm
actually design characters.
Yeah, it's something that you can draw consistently
Yeah.
and translates well. And
So if you look at Elemental Crisis, my webcomic, it's like one of the main
hmm
characters wears baggy trousers and t-shirts. And when I came to like design Alice, the female character, I just let Danny just do what you want with the colours, because I have no idea.
Right, right.
It's kind of one of those things where, and that has evolved into me looking at fashion blogs because I have no idea. So I just kind of.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've gotta learn from somewhere, and where better to learn about clothes than fashion blogs?
Mm.
I guess that's
And
what people starting out might not realize is yeah, you've got to sometimes go to some potentially unconventional places to learn
oh yeah,
things.
I've and there's certainly enough of that on the internet.
Yeah, yeah. No, actually, yeah. There's a great book that really helped me learn about stylized drawing and anatomy and about clothes. Called Figure Drawing for Fashion Design. I
Hmm.
think it was called. It's a great book. That I think my wife had. Uh, and I just sort of saw it and picked it up and I went, oh my god, this is awesome! I need to get myself a copy of this. And then yeah, just I picked it up and just started using it to learn about clothes and female anatomy and oh, it's great book.
It is very
Definitely,
important, especially like you would like in comics, especially like if you look at like 60s, 70s characters, most are
mm,
wearing skin tight jumpsuits and swimsuits. And there's a
hmm
reason because they're easy to draw, and with the limited colours and whatnot with comics back then, it's kind of what they had to do.
hmm
But that hasn't really evolved that much, and it's only kind of recently where character redesigns are coming through that actually utilise that stuff. I mean,
hmm
like I mentioned earlier, Young Avengers, the artists on that really just um, make it a thing to kind of give them realistic looking clothing and kind of accurate clothing to what they would wear. So you kind of see it gives them more character through that. So they're like the tough character wears like a appropriate clothing to what she would wear, not kind of a jumpsuit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Actually, I should really keep a note of all these things and stick it in the description that we're talking about. Like Young Avengers. I think
no,
you
I
definitely
would
recommend that for a read.
yeah, I would recommend that for pretty much anyone. Like it's a great
Yeah,
it's a book about teenagers essentially, but it's
yeah.
such a fun book all the way around. It just kind of it it plugs into kind of the pop culture and kind of zeitgeist things, and
hmm
it's
So
very
I take it it's based more like very modern day.
it's a superhero book, but it's very much of the time.
Hmm.
It's not like a very not like a very it's not like any other book in the superhero genre.
Oh, really? So does it? Excuse me. Are the Avengers banded together in it, or are they all sort of separate still?
It's a team book, yeah. So it's this
Hmm.
new volume that's kind of come out around this year. It's
hmm
kind of them reforming some of them with new superhero titles and whatnot, but I'm kind of
Oh,
reforming
right.
after they broke up because of like a character death years ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's them dealing with the loss of a friend and then getting back together
Right, right.
because they always knew they would, kind of thing.
Hmm.
And it introduces all younger characters through that as well.
Yeah,
And
sounds interesting.
and again, it's more about the relationships and the adventures they go on, as opposed to defeating some unknown evil kind of thing.
Hmm.
Which again, comics having more realistic characters is something that needs to happen, really.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the comic book characters are always more interesting when they're grounded more in reality.
Uh, well, again, it depends on your look on it, because a lot of people look at
Yeah,
it
I
similar
suppose.
to Marvel, and they're very much polar opposites. In the DC is very much gods living among humans, and Marvel is
Hmm.
humans who are gods. Because of the difference.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, personally, I've always preferred Marvel to DC.
Yeah,
Um,
it depends what you
uh,
want from them, mythological beings or people with powers, normal
yeah, I
people
guess.
with other problems in life. But
Yeah, yeah,
the line bleeds often, so and more
yeah,
often these
yeah,
days as well.
yeah, definitely.
Right, I've got a basic shape of the character now. I'm going to use some
Yeah, no, it's looking good.
shading.
Definitely looking good.
Mm-hmm.
The only minor thing I would say is that her neck looks very, very wide. Just looks like it goes back a little bit too far.
Yeah, yeah, I can do that too.
That would be my only minor thing. It's looking good. No, this is the thing. I like your style because it is so comic booky. It's it's not something I do
Mm,
at all, and it's not something I see a lot of. I guess because I don't
yeah.
because I'm not a big comic book reader. It's interesting to see it, and it has been interesting watching your style evolve over the years as well.
Mm. I mean, for me,
I mean, just watching your blog, it's just watching you do your daily, yeah, your daily sketches. It's just like they've just gotten better and better every time you do one. Really.
well, I get quite quite a lot of anxiety over those. Sometimes I feel like I've done an excellent job, and then the next day I'm like, oh, they terrible. Because
Yeah,
often I'm very
I
much
think we're all guilty of that
just
sometimes.
jumping into like characters I've never ever drawn before, saying like, oh, have I represented this person well enough? Have I?
Hmm.
And then oftentimes like it's a character I know so well that it just turns out perfectly. The prime example for this is Superman. For some reason, I always struggle at drawing Superman, even though he's
All
kind of
right,
the
yeah,
most plainest of characters. For me, it never feels truly 100% him. Almost just a guy dressed as him.
yeah. I mean, maybe that's because you're just so used to seeing him in his comic book form, and you're so used to seeing certain people draw him that because you're not drawing him in the exact way that they draw him, it
Yeah,
doesn't necessarily feel like him.
that may well be it. It's like you're not living up to that high image you've always seen of him.
Mm. Yeah, speaking of which, I'm just being talked to by a friend of mine from work on Google Plus, say who's just been to watch the new Superman film.
Hmm. I've heard
He said,
very inconsistent things about it.
yeah, I mean, he say he's been very excited about it. To preface this, he's been very excited about it. Um, and he said it's brain mashingly good, a solid 8 out of 10. So
So,
it's
what
also,
would you describe a 10 out of 10? If it's brainwashing really good.
ooh, I don't know. He's not a massive comic book person,
Hmm.
but I think he genuinely rather likes Superman.
Yeah.
But yes, I'll have to get his opinion on it later.
Yeah. I've not even watched Iron Man 3 this year, so I'm very behind.
Oh, disgraceful. Even I've seen Iron Man 3 and I haven't seen any films. I'm notoriously awful for not seeing films. And I enjoyed Iron Man, but it wasn't. I don't think it was as good as the previous films.
What about 2? Because 2 is also the controversial one.
Yeah, I still liked two. I did still enjoy it.
two's all right. I think they could have cut about the first 45 minutes and still had a better, probably a better film.
Yeah, I'm
Not,
trying to remember. Yeah, it was the dude. Yeah,
there's a lot of build up to then him not existing for all. Like Whiplash appears and then disappears for the rest of the film and appears right at the end.
yeah, yeah. No, I
So
know what you
it's
mean.
a lot of build up to not a lot of involvement. If you see what I mean.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just gonna pop off a second. I'm not going to let the cat out the window.
Okay, okay. So yeah, I guess whilst Rich is gone, I should probably carry on talking. But yeah, and actually, for the one person who is watching, and hopefully the people will be watching this later, that is Rich Rudge of AbandonedEarthComics.com. Everybody should go and check out his comic. It's awesome. So yeah, I'm just tweaking this guy's face right now. I suppose probably switch my screen. That might be an idea. Yeah, I'm just tweaking this guy's face and how his eyes are and how his eyes look. Yeah, I'm not too happy with him right now. It's a little better. In Pixar, it's always important to zoom out every now and again to see where you're at. Because although in games and things we view pixels. Aha, you're back.
Hello, hello.
I was just trying to fill some dead air talking about pixel art and the fact that this guy's face is wrong still. But yeah, pixel art's a weird one. It's got a very unique sort of way of doing things.
Yeah, for me, good pixel art is a good representation of what it is, but also stylizing it to the point that it fits
Yeah,
the
because I
style.
mean,
Because we're kind
in
of
a, in a,
blessed these days because it's not really needed, and we're not really working inside the confines of it as much as you would if you're developing for the NES, and like Atari and whatnot.
yeah, definitely.
Because you're
Um,
hard locked into certain things with those, whereas now it's kind of you can budget and it'll look
yeah,
pixelated, but it'll not necessarily be like Super Nintendo. If you see what I mean?
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, a lot of today things that games that are in a pixel art style are often not at the resolution that they're drawn at. They're actually,
Yeah,
a zoomed in version. I mean, a classic example of it is the Scott Pilgrim versus the World video game.
yeah,
And that's it's super. I mean, it's still higher resolution. The pixel's still higher resolution than like the likes of the Super Nintendo, but not by much. But then they're actually viewed about two to four times bigger than what the actual pixels are,
yeah.
and that gives you a very interesting stylized effect.
Hmm.
And to be fair, that's what most of my pixel art is these days. It's best viewed at this sort of 200% view. I mean, if you look at this guy, I mean, at 200%, well, 100%, he looks cool, and you can pick out his details and stuff, but it's a lot cooler when you start sort of, if you look at him at 200%,
Yeah.
Um, And yeah, actually it was interesting when I was actively developing um, a HTML5 game, which is all done with pixel art. It started off a very low pixel art. I was sort of going sort of Commodore 64 style almost with the character, super low resolution. It was great, and he looked really stylized, but the backgrounds then started looking, trying to do them at that resolution. It looked awful. It
Yeah,
just looked rubbish. So then I tried to do higher resolution backgrounds with this low resolution character, and it was just this weird mashup
yeah, didn't really match.
of stuff. No, not at all. So I found I had to go back and redo all the graphics and again and keep them at this sort of yeah Super Nintendo level almost.
But yeah, but more still your style. You,
Yeah, definitely.
I
I
mean,
mean,
Fight and Streets of Rage, they were 16-bit,
hmm,
but they're very different styles, so they look very different.
yeah, definitely. I mean, that was pixel art. That was actually quite high resolution pixel art, but then viewed at the actual correct amount of pixels, which yeah, so yes, that's why Street Fighter looked so great at the time, because it was a super high resolution pixel art that they worked out how to represent.
Hmm.
Um, because if you actually go back and look at the sprites now, they're actually um, what are they? Probably around 200 to 300 pixels high.
Hmm.
I mean, this guy's only 150 himself, so he's got nowhere near the resolution that Street Fighter 2 characters had. Um, but you can view him at a much higher resolution,
Hmm.
so a much larger size,
Yeah.
and he still looks cool. Yeah, I've never really mastered that sort of super realistic pixel art style. I've never been very good at it, but I've never been good at any super realistic style of anything really. But
Well, for that, I suppose it's learning to know what to cram into that small amount of size. If
yeah,
it's such a
yeah,
high detail thing, either you just compress a high res image, or you just, I don't know, or you learn to know what details are important.
mm. Yeah. This is so much fun. It's been a while since I've got to sit and talk to someone about this sort of thing.
You there? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, I am back.
We dropped the call again.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just kind of said, your call has ended because of an error. So
Ah,
yeah, don't know what happened there.
error.
But at least you kept it alive. The important thing. So
Yeah.
our live stream didn't drop out.
Yeah.
But now we can see me. Yay!
You'll never see me.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I got an interesting bit of kit through the post at work today.
Mm.
Um, an interesting wire for my phone, so you can connect it via HDMI to any TV or screen.
Oh, oh, interesting.
So you can directly output in HD video what's
Yeah.
going on your phone. So my plan for the future is to pick up, one of the streaming recording boxes that people use for
Yeah.
capturing game footage, hooking that up to my phone, and then sitting and doing my drawings and recording as I go.
Is there not anything on like available as an app or anything like that?
Unfortunately not, because generally it requires you to get root access to the phone.
Ah, yeah.
And then generally the phone's not quite up to power and storage to do that. Yeah, to do everything at the same time. Yeah. So yeah, having this. Yeah, I mean it's a great little wire. I actually ordered it from thelightbox.com. It's a Chinese manufacturer that manufactures these versions of wires and things, so you don't have to fork out for the full price ones. Yeah, this is it. Yeah,
Ah,
it's
very
a
nice.
great little thing, and it's just yeah, you just stick it in your micro USB in your phone, HDMI on the other end. There's room for another micro USB into it, so you can charge the phone at the same time. Yeah, and it works great. I've tried it on my HD monitors at work, and yeah, just outputted everything. It was brilliant.
Ah, that's good.
So yeah, that's plans for the future. But I need to I need to gather about 50 quid to afford a streaming box.
Yeah.
Those things don't come cheap.
But then once you've got it, you've got it. So
Well, yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is the thing. I would love to be able to do all this sort of stuff full time. I really would. I do envy you.
well, it's still hard work, really. Oftentimes, it's got to and lonely.
Yes, yeah,
Sitting pro at a computer instead of going to work and sitting at a computer.
yeah. This is true. This is so there is benefits to going out to work to do it. But yeah, no, I don't get enough interesting creative products at work because I'm sort of a hybrid graphic design and web design.
Hmm.
I do a lot of functional things, a lot of sort of doing what the client wants, or fixing what a client's marketing company has created.
Yeah.
Because I do a lot of email designs and things, which is another world in itself. There's another coding skill set that has to be done. So I do a lot of that on a day-to-day basis, and I miss working in the games industry because I got my short break in working for Legendary Games.
Hmm.
I loved it so much. It was great fun. Just doing, even though we weren't necessarily working on the games that I wanted to make, it was still cool games that I liked.
Hmm. And I imagine being it was a startup, quick startup, like it's very you had a lot of freedom to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I started as the only artist there, so I had a lot of creative freedom. And then I basically told them to hire Sammy P.
Hmm.
So there, I mean, me and Sam worked on stuff together before, and it was great working alongside him on stuff and having a bit more creative feedback on the stuff we were doing. Because although I mean, we had the CTO was our main programmer, and then we had Ewan, our CEO, who was good at getting us money for so we could carry on making stuff. Um, yeah, it wasn't always they weren't always great for getting the creative feedback on the art styles and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, then getting another artist on board was great. Um, but also it was cool working alongside an industry veteran as well, like our CTO is. Yeah, why the hell am I blanking on his name now? This is stupid. I worked with him for 6 months. I can't remember his name. Gavin Rummery. That's the one. He was one of the original programmers for that made Tomb Raider.
Ah, of course he was a David.
Mm. Yeah, he made. Yeah, he. It was him plus another 2 or 3 people
Hmm.
made the original Tomb Raider. So it was great work alongside him. You know, been in the industry for many years and being able to pick his brain every now and again about things
Hmm.
and how they how they did stuff back then.
I'm speeding through this image. That's why it's in
You do seem to be. It's
the store.
Yeah, it's looking pretty sweet. See, this is part. Oh god,
What was that?
that was dog chasing cat. Hang on a sec. Okay, I am back. After telling the dog off, and she's now sat underneath my desk, and she's not allowed to move because she's naughty. This is the problem with collies. They want to round everybody up and get them to do what they want to do. But anyway, what was I saying? Um, something.
Making games, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, it was great working for a creative for a games company because it's just you're coming to work every day and you're making cool stuff. You're making the sort of stuff that I like creating. You know,
Yeah.
you're doing characters, you're doing vehicles, you're doing. Even though I was part programmer, part artist, it was still great, and I was doing a lot of UI stuff. It was still great to because you're still working in the art style and
Hmm.
making stuff look awesome. Um, but yeah, it's a shame that you don't get to work there anymore. But yeah, it's meant I'm working. I'm getting to do more of my own stuff now. I guess that I'm not working there because it's sort of
Hmm.
it kind of drains your creative juices working a creative thing like that all the time. You
Yeah,
sort of
all your ideas are going into that.
yeah, you
Cool.
find you're getting home and you're just like, do you know what? Edging out for a bit and looking at the TV would be quite nice.
Well, you're getting the experience more than anything like that, aren't you? You're not gonna
Yeah,
necessarily be
I
doing.
definitely got plenty of experience there. It was very good for that. Um, yeah, just working with brands and designing things that I didn't normally get to design.
Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that yeah, something I really need to learn to do is something that you're doing now is using very thin or what I would call quite thin lines for your general outlines. And yeah, I mean you've got your very stylized, dark, thick shadows and things,
Hmm.
but the actual main basis of it is quite a thin
Yeah.
lined ink.
Hmm.
Whereas I'm terrible for that. I just can't seem to do it. Every time I try and do it, I just make it too thick.
Hmm.
and all my drawings end up like having no detail because I've just got these massive, big, thick lines. And it's something I want to practice at is drawing with a bit more detail and a bit more.
Yeah, it's the balance you want to keep is the general shape of the character, but then the details on the character.
Mm,
Going back to the fashion stuff that we were talking about,
mm,
I learned so much more after I started actually incorporating things. But it's funny as funny as it sounds, using reference.
hmm
Because it's obvious to use reference, but sometimes you just think, oh, my brain
I know
doesn't
what that
follow on
looks
that.
like.
I know
Yeah,
what that
yeah,
looks like. Oh, okay.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, it was quite funny the other day. Kind of proves that how important it is to use reference. I was one of my friends' kids. She's 30, and she wanted me to teach her how to draw, and I've been showing her some things, and I was just sort of sat there, and she was just like, I was sat there doing this. She's like, "Can you draw this?" And she, "Oh, can you draw a cow?" I was like, I guess I can.
Yeah.
Um, and I was literally just sat there with my phone, so I had no. Well, I could have gone in and done an internet search, but it's difficult to internet search whilst drawing, and I was just like, well, I guess I could try. And then she was like, well, can you draw a pig instead? I was like, yeah, all right, I'll try and draw a pig. And I drew this pig, and it was, this weird stylized thing. I was like, you get to bits, you're just like, the hell does a pig's ear look like?
Yeah. And next.
Yeah, it's just,
Right.
yeah, and you just suddenly realise, oh my god, I don't actually know. You think you know what things look like, but you really don't until you analyse it.
I tell you what was a learning experience. At the convention, obviously, I was doing sketches on the
Hmm.
back of whatever they wanted, and
Yeah, yeah,
several people asked for an obscure anime characters I've never heard of. I was like,
right, yeah,
I guess I could. Yeah, okay, let's Google it. Let's look on what it looks like, and then go from there. But it's like
yeah.
even like a Dragon Ball Z character off the top of my head, a lot of them was like,
Hmm.
because Dragon Ball has never been something I've been a fan of. But I know
Right,
what
right.
they look like. But
Mm-hmm.
even then,
Or at
I
least you
look,
thought you knew what they looked like.
yeah, spiky hair, keys, battle the.
Yeah, no, it's a weird thing. And I'm gonna have to combat all this when my daughter is at the age of that she realizes that I can actually draw.
Hmm.
Actually, that was another funny thing. It was just like, um, my next door neighbors at the moment, like, my wife's known them since they were all tiny, running around together as kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I've known them for many, many years now. And one of them had got into drawing. And was drawing anime. She's 14-year old, I think, and she's so no, she's a bit older than that, maybe 16. And she's massively into anime at the moment, and she's loving it, and she's drawing it, and I was like, well, do you want me to help you? I'd love to have a look at your sketchbook. And she was like, she was like really confused at first. I was like, well, I draw, I can, I used to draw anime, and I do all this, and I showed her all, my drawings and stuff, and she was like, I had no idea you drew. I was like, you never said. I was like, well, you never asked. It's just like people like, I think some people have like this idea that like if you can draw, like you kind of shout about it, or you,
Yeah. If if
or,
if
or,
if it's
or
not a surface level trait, it doesn't exist.
yeah, exactly. And it was just, it was a weird thing. I was just like, yeah, I draw,
No, but
uh,
I suppose if you never like actively drew like sitting in front of her or
right in
whatever,
front of her.
yeah,
Yeah,
only mentioned it in passing conversation several years prior, and
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of one of those things.
Mm. I think it was interesting, sort of looking at her sketchbook and looking and seeing, oh yeah, I used to make those mistakes,
Mm.
But actually, to be fair, she's probably drawing anime much better than I was at her age. Like her anime is actually pretty good, actually. I mean, a lot of it's she's copied characters, but she has made some of her own characters and stuff, and
Mm.
she's drawing them really well. I was really impressed. I think it's really important to encourage people to get into doing more and more art. It can only be a good thing.
Mm. Definitely, definitely.
It's a great outlet for young people, I think.
It's made me wonder though, like, where do people watch anime in this country without parenting it? Or is it?
Oh, I think she watches it on YouTube and streams it from various websites and things. I mean, I know she has gone out and she's bought tons of manga from the bookshops. Yeah, because you can get it from all sorts of bookshops these days.
Mm. I do wonder
Um, yeah,
how they, because the way I've always been exposed to it is through kind of backdoor means.
yeah. No, I know what you mean. I mean, I know there was a surgence for a while of mainstream kids TV when we were younger. Um, with things like Pokemon, Beyblade, Dragon Ball Z.
Well,
Um,
the only things I had were like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I'd say I never had Dragon Ball
yeah,
when I was younger, so
right, yeah,
so I never watched anime
yeah,
on that. I knew what it was, but I've never ever seen it. It's one of those things.
mm, yeah. I mean, I used to act. To be fair, I used to very actively seek it out on all the
Yeah.
cartoon channels. Because I was fortunate. My parents had Sky, so there was things like Shaman King and Gundam Wing, Digimon, all sorts of things that you could find that was anime. I used to lap it up, it was anything anime I could get my hands on, I wanted to watch. I was just fascinated by it. But yeah, in later times, then you find, oh, yeah, there's not that much around unless you start going out to HMV and buying the odd box
Yeah.
set that they have in. And to be
It's
fair,
only like a chance viewing of Princess Mononoke that I properly got into Ghibli stuff.
right, yeah.
And then after that, it was just like, oh, accidentally watching Castle of Cagliostro on 4 or something.
Mm,
Like one of those just chance things. Like, oh, this is amazing. Why have I not seen this before? Kind of thing. But
yeah, yeah.
just because it's not been exposed to it.
Yeah, I mean, with the Ghibli stuff, I mean, I used to be a very avid reader of the Neo magazine,
Hmm.
and they always used to talk about, all this great Ghibli stuff. I think I caught Spirited Away on Channel 4,
Hmm.
as they occasionally do put on anime for whatever reason, and yeah, that solidifies that. Wow, yeah, I need to see more Studio Ghibli stuff. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to get into it unless you know someone who can
Yeah.
expose you to it.
And provide you with the means to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to be fair, as soon as I found out that my next door neighbor was into anime and was drawing it, I was just like, here's every anime DVD I have. Borrow it and watch
Yeah.
everything and enjoy it. And she loved it. I mean, I gave her everything um, from Studio Ghibli stuff to things like Sky Blue, the Korean sort of half anime, half stop motion film. And then I managed to pick up many many years ago. The Works was doing box sets of like the first DVD of a series, but there
Oh
was
yeah.
like 20 of them or something, like 20 first DVDs. So I just bought them all one Christmas, I think.
Hmm.
That exposed me to loads more. Yeah, that exposed me to loads more stuff. More stuff, and it's great. Ah, so these your no, they're looking really good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, one thing I would say is that, yeah, obviously as you're trying to sort of work the character out there, her how tall she is and how stocky she is keeps
Yeah,
changing a lot.
yeah, definitely.
Uh,
Quite thin and all, but it's the way I kind of back and forth on how she looks. Really.
yeah, I mean it's the only way to develop a character at the end of the day is just by drawing them,
Mm.
definitely. But no, it's a strong design, definitely. Oh, I'm being so slow. I'm just about finishing the main friggin' colours. I'm still not liking it that much. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is coming along.
Yeah, it's getting there. It'll look better once I get some shading and stuff on there and try and put a bit more detail into it. It's surprising how much detail you can actually get into a low resolution pixel art.
Yeah. Well, it's all about your eyes interpreting
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
I mean, that's through like the black and white inking I've been doing.
Mm,
Just interpretation, like just something like that. You just tell what it gives it a lot of properties.
yeah, definitely.
Simple shape.
Mm. Yeah, I guess we need to keep talking. That would probably be a good idea rather than just carrying on what we're doing.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I'm being so terrible. I'm being so terrible. I need to stop doing this. I put orange in friggin' every picture that I draw at the moment just because it's the best colour in the world. I just can't stop myself.
Yeah, a bit like a colour scheme.
Yeah. Mm. For your highlights and your hair like that, do you always leave the black lines in for the highlights, or do you
It
then?
it depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll do something right. A lot of it comes from me inking it and then coloring it digitally.
Right, right.
For say lips, I usually get rid of them,
Hmm.
but for for this kind of stuff, I usually leave it. And it often just depends on if I want to do a more gradient or kind of anime style
Right, yeah.
highlight.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's obviously your comic book style is very focused on the shadows
Yeah.
of the character. It's interesting to see how you handle the highlights as well.
I mean, I think again, I think that comes from me. I've always seen my weaknesses as coloring, kind of shading the color. So it's
Right,
kind of
yeah.
a way of working to my weaknesses, but then,
Mm,
but at the same time, I'm also trying to actively change that with other things. So
yeah,
like
yeah,
skin tones, I will mix in and bring with color.
yeah. Huh. Can you still hear me?
Hmm?
Sorry, yeah, can you still hear me? The Google Hangouts thing was trying to be too clever, I think.
Uh,
And was just said, "Oh, it sounds like you're typing, so we muted your microphone." That's kind of useful, but kind of not when you're trying to have a conversation.
it's just over anxious
Yeah,
audio detection, isn't it?
yeah, a little bit. So, what games have you been playing recently? Anything interesting?
Actually, not a lot recently.
Hmm.
The game I play most at the moment is Marvel Avengers Alliance on Facebook.
Ah,
Just
right,
doing that
yeah.
stuff, which it can get quite obsessive. But it gets quite good, but it's very base.
Yeah.
It's a very much you couldn't unlock this thing. Oh, I need to get it.
Hmm. Yeah, it becomes quite compulsive.
Yeah, but it's a bit annoying because everything's so expensive in game, and they kind of
Right,
like
yeah, well,
push you to spend
keep
gold.
playing and
Yeah,
oh,
keep
right,
wanting to
yeah,
pay gold. So,
yeah, I don't blame you.
so you just have to wait a long time to be able to unlock someone like say Thor, who's quite expensive, or some of the newer characters who are more expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, they're always going to put the popular ones that are in the current zeitgeist as more expensive.
Uh, well, it depends. Like you got Iron Man for free when you started, but
Oh, right.
I've got to say, like, what was it? The MMO that's just launched,
Hmm.
Marvel Heroes or whatever. He's like 20 quid alone when that
Oh,
game's free to
really?
play. So it's like
Wow.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that is a bit mental, isn't it? Yeah, that I've heard some. Yeah, actually, I was gonna say I've heard some interesting things. I've seen one webcomic about it, and it already massively put me off the idea of playing it.
It's good, but the idea of having a billion Daredevils, Thors, and like the starter characters running around just feels a bit weird.
Yeah, and they're all running around the same universe. It's not
Yeah,
instanced like things like Guild
yeah.
Wars and
But at the same
WoW.
time, there's some. It's on akin of like Diablo of playability. So it's
Oh, it's actually got decent gameplay on there.
yeah. I mean, it's made by kind of the guy who originally designed Diablo, I believe.
Oh, right, okay.
So there's a quality to the game too. It's just a bit weird that they chose.
Yeah,
I
there's a
mean,
pedigree
I don't
there,
know
but
I'm not sure how else you would do that if you want it to be like massively multiplayer, because you probably wouldn't be able to have like server limits on one character. So like doing an add-on server with
no, yeah, it doesn't really work, does it?
so yeah. So in that sense, I get it, but in another sense, it's just weird having like because there's only 7 starter characters that you get for free, and they're all running
Right,
around
yeah. So
everywhere.
there's going to be a lot of
Like
those
on the
running
group
around.
bosses, especially on the group bosses, especially where everyone's attacking with one bad guy, just all running
Right, yeah.
around.
So you've got like
It's just
10 the things and 10 daredevils all pounding on one guy.
yeah. But then at the same time, that does give more uniqueness to the people who don't actually do have the more expensive characters.
Hmm.
You see them, it's like, oh, they've got a cool character.
Right, yeah, yeah. It's sort of it becomes kind of a status thing,
Yeah.
which is kind of good and bad in itself. It's like I suppose it's kind of what a lot of MMOs are about, isn't it? It's, that's why
Yeah.
people want the purple gear in WoW. It's a status thing. Everybody likes to feel better and cooler than everybody
Yeah.
else.
Well, yeah, in this Facebook game I play, it's like some of them. So some were you had to be a certain skill in the PvP to unlock certain characters.
Hmm.
So, like only like a very small percentage of people have got a certain character. So when you
Right,
see
yeah.
them, it's like, oh man, I'm gonna get messed up here. They're obviously gonna be way better at the game than I.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I haven't had enough experience playing MMOs, mainly because they're dangerous. They're very dangerous. Time sucks that I've never felt I've had the time to actually play.
Yeah.
My gaming time, I mean, at the moment, my gaming time's so limited with having a baby around.
Oh yeah.
I'm finding I'm doing
More
I'm doing most of my gaming on mobile at the moment. Um, it's only in the mornings before work if I make the effort to get up early. Um, then I can have 20 minutes, half an hour on a game.
Hmm.
Recently, I've just been an absolute madman, and I've gone back to Skyrim.
Ah.
Because I never completed it, because I hit a glitch where I couldn't make the story go on any further. The quest just wouldn't trigger off, and there was no patch because I'm playing it on 360. I just want to see the rest of the story.
Hmm.
So I've just gone back, and I feel like an utter fool, but I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, I traded that in like last year or something. I do miss it. But I never did 100% of it. I did the story and most of the quests, but I didn't do certain things.
Yeah, yeah,
And then like some of the download it, like the add-on content. Really, really
yeah. The DLC. But I was talking to our friend Sammy P today, and he was going on about he got The Last of Us in the post yesterday, and he was raving about it. I mean, he was hyped up for it whilst I was still working at Legendary Games, like
yeah.
7, oh god, no, 8, just 8, 9 months ago now.
Yeah.
And he was hyped about it then, and he's only got more and more excited about it. And he was just saying it's actually lived up to his expectations. It feels almost perfect.
This
He
is
said
good.
if he'd won the lottery, it is the game that he would have made.
Yeah.
So it massively speaks to him. So that's kind of made me want to get it and give it a go. So I'm thinking that might be my next gaming purchase if I get around to get around to buying it.
Speaking of games, E3 has been an interesting week.
Yeah, it has with the new
Lots of
consoles.
interesting videos and whatnot.
Hmm.
Which, yeah, I was very worried that the kind of Xbox route of things was going to be the norm. I'm glad it kind of at least had some.
Oh, with the always on connection and the
Yeah,
DRM and all that sort of stuff.
everything surrounding it is very anti-consumer. It's like,
Yes, I feel very much the same way. And then when PS3 was like, nah, it's fine, we're not going to do that.
yeah.
I was like,
So
okay,
I'm glad there's
PS4 wins.
an alternative with that. Even though nowadays I probably do spend more time on the PC playing games, so
Hmm.
it doesn't really matter. But it's one of those things you don't have the option. So I don't
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, to be honest, I haven't played an online game like competitively in God knows how long. I've been very
Mm.
obsessed recently with more single player experiences,
So
and more
that's the thing.
indie
That,
experiences as well.
yeah, yeah, I've played a lot more indie kind of 15-minute type things, a lot more recently.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the way my gaming's been going. It's kind of refreshing. And I actually borrowed Halo 4
Mm.
um, the other day, and I started playing through the campaign, and yeah, I was enjoying it, but I just haven't really been compelled to go back because it's just like, yeah, I kind of know what's gonna happen. I get it. I've done this before.
Yeah, it, for me, it's just the kind of barrage of shooters
Mm,
that
I mean, and they're great games. You know, you can't deny that they're not great, but
it's just there's so many of them.
mm,
It's just so many in so kind of small amount of space
yeah,
that you just lose interest.
definitely. I mean, I think my game of the last year or so has been my favorite experience the last year or so has been Bastion
Yeah, yeah,
by
that's a
Supergiant Games.
good one.
I love that game to pieces. I picked it up on a Humble Bundle sale, and I played it over about a week in a few sessions with a 360 controller on my PC, stuck some headphones on. It was just fantastic. Loved that game from start to finish. Um,
I haven't finished it, I don't think.
it's
I think I even have it on PC and on Xbox.
really,
Well, I think I got a humble one as well. Same
yeah,
one.
it's totally worth playing through. I mean, I loved the narration so much. I mean, that alone made me want to carry on um, playing through, just to listen to that narrator telling me what
Yeah,
I was doing, what was going on, and the feelings of these, these survivors of this horrible tragedy.
and their
Um,
new game Transistor is pretty interesting as well.
yeah, it
It's very different, but very
well,
similar at the same time.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. It almost looks too similar, but I'm not sure it will be.
But I think it'll play a lot
Um,
better just because of the tactics
yeah,
that you do it.
but yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to that. But unfortunately, in my opinion, they put out the hype too early
Mm.
because it's not coming out until next year.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things that they're in the machine now. If you see what I mean, they can't
Yeah,
continue
yeah,
doing that because they're a lot bigger than they were. You know, I found out about that game
mm,
through Giant Bomb because they're very, good friends with the people who run the site. Are very much good friends with the people who make the game, and so they had like a developer diary.
right, okay,
And so I had no idea who these people were, and then
mm,
they kind of monthly kind of showed me this game improving and improving until it came out. It was
mm,
a really interesting experience because they were their office was a house in California somewhere.
right, right,
And just seeing these four people go from making this, but at the time, tiny game and become quite kind of famous from it and go to strength to strength to being on the PS3,
mm.
PS4 conference. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm realizing I'm being a little selfish on the stream here and making people watch me shade the sky. They may well be far more interested in watching me.
Oh, sorry, I'm very slowly covering you.
Hmm.
Being very indecisive of what I should cover.
Now we've already run over the allotted time. I was going to make this a sort of, well, I suppose we didn't start bang on time, did we?
Nah,
So we can keep going for a bit.
say about 10 o'clock. You know,
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me. Although we currently have no viewers, although we've been fluctuating between a few. People have been watching. And we have had a YouTube comment as well, which makes me very happy. Someone called Zach Church saying, very cool idea. So I should really comment back to him. Yeah, thank you.
Oop.
But yeah, I've created a new YouTube channel for this specifically. I tried to get it under my blog's name, but that wasn't happening. Or any sort of it's under the Super Creative Pixels YouTube stream. So yeah, I'm gonna hopefully brand that up to with my blog branding, and we can go from there. But yeah, yeah, I'm definitely enjoying doing this. I want to do more
Yeah,
with some more people as well.
it's just a kind of fun way to hang out as well.
Yeah,
In a Google Hangout. You know.
exactly. But yeah, I found it was really cool because what I'll do is I'll do a stripped down a sped up and stripped down version as well. Because the last one I increased to like 16 times. It was really cool going back and watching my technique, and it would be great to see yours going at the same time.
I mean, like, it would be great to have, like, say, Leslie or someone,
Yeah, exactly.
given how we've just missed an opportunity to see her. Kind of,
Yeah, definitely. And her art style is always super interesting to see. She's got a great style of her own. But yeah, turning it into hopefully we can turn it into a weekly video cast. It'll be great. Um, yeah, I suppose on the days I can't get an empty house, a nice quiet empty house, I always stay after work and do it from work instead. Then I can use a nice PC. I've got a nice 8 core machine with a lovely graphics card in it and a 8 gig of RAM and all the rest of it at work. So it would be nice to use that instead of this slow piece of rubbish.
yeah, it's always good to get at least consistent machinery.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this laptop is like 10 years old. It's got an awful like I think it's a 1.6 or 1.8 duo core
Yeah,
processor in it. I mean, Windows 8 has revived it massively. Windows 8 makes it run amazing in comparison to what it was, but it's still old.
it's
Like I keep getting Chrome telling me that these browser tabs aren't responding. Do you want me to close them for you? But no, don't do that.
it, I remember dual cores, two cores came came to
They were
life.
the shiz.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
good.
And now, like, my phone has a better processor than this laptop does.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. I have like it's like a 1.6 quad core in my phone. It's just bonkers. So yeah, this guy's coming to life a little bit more now. I'm getting some shading and stuff on him.
cool. Yeah, it's good.
But I need to put some detailing on him because he is looking a little boring.
Hmm. It's
Or
very much
as boring as you
like
can look holding a sword. But yeah, he's just sort of
like
He's
an
just this
RPG
dude at
style
the moment.
character.
Yeah, exactly. He needs some shit thrown on him to make him look cool.
Got no gear.
Yeah, he has no gear. There's the rubbish starter sword.
Killing rats in a sword.
Yeah, exactly. But he's got the super cool hair because I've obviously spent far too long customizing all the little tweaky things to make his hair look awesome. So yeah, I think it's time for a belt. Definitely time for a belt. Yeah, that's another thing I don't do much of is sci-fi stuff. I'm always on the fantasy stuff. I need to break out a little bit, I think.
Well, conversely, I'm always doing sci-fi stuff.
Mm. Yeah, maybe we should trade one day. When we're doing this. Just say, right, today I am doing sci-fi and you are doing fantasy, and see what comes of it. Maybe I can either do a take on one of your characters or something.
Yeah. Not bad for that colour.
Yeah, it works well with the hair colour.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when I did the kind of Magic the Gathering sketches the other week on my
Mm.
probably the first time I drew an elf. So
Oh right, yeah.
first time I drew an elf.
Mm.
But it,
Yeah, I suppose.
because Magic the Gathering really is the most consistent fantasy thing I followed.
Right, yeah, yeah.
I've read Lord of the Rings, but it's not really something I
Yeah, that's very high fantasy, very serious. I mean, it's great fantasy. I mean, it really is, but it's yeah, it's not the sort of thing to break into easily. It's not good for
yeah.
beginning a journey into fantasy. That's looking better. Now he has a belt. Right, I think he needs a scabbard as well. Mm, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's give him a bangle as well with shiny bits in it. So, have you seen the new Star Trek film recently?
I've not even seen the first new Star Trek film.
Really? No, that does
Really into
surprise
it.
me.
It's
That does surprise
I've
me for
heard
you.
far too many kind of inconsistent things about them
Oh,
to make me
really?
think I should just watch the old ones, which I've watched some of them.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
Next Generation, but
yeah, I really enjoyed the new films. I mean, I think I've seen all of the next gen sort of era films, mainly because my brother and cousins were massively into Star Trek at the time, so I saw all those, and they were great films. They really were. I thought they were when I was younger, anyway. Um, but
it's one of those things
yeah,
that
this
I always
the new
thought
reboot,
they
I
were
think it worked.
boring TV shows when I was a kid.
Yeah, I wasn't massively into them
But
either, to
after
be fair.
reading a load of sci-fi, they're now really interesting because they go into really deep topics that I always brought up in sci-fi, so it's always really interesting now.
Yeah, yeah,
And from what I've heard, Star Trek very much is more action-based and less kind of navel-gazing, introspective stuff.
Hmm.
It's kind of what Star Trek is interesting.
Yeah. It's something I've always meant to go back and watch because Jess has always been a big to my surprise, she's always been a massive sci-fi geek.
Hmm.
You wouldn't think it, but she's watched
No, he wouldn't.
she's watched all of the Stargate stuff. She's seen Battlestar Galactica. She's seen a lot of Star Trek. She loads of stuff that I wouldn't have picked her to have watched, but yeah, she's watched it. Like it's funny whenever I meet up with Ash and Jess is there, but they always they go off on these tangents about something that happened in Stargate. And I'm just like, what? This is like the weirdest conversation ever. Um, but yeah, it's something I keep meaning to go back and get into and try again.
Yeah.
Because I think part of the reason I didn't want to watch it as a kid was because I didn't want to watch what my brother was watching.
Ah, yeah.
So I think I foolishly missed out on some things because of that. But
Hmm.
yeah, I just need to find someone who can lend me all the box sets so I can just sort of cane it over a weekend or something.
Well, on I know on the film Battlestar Galactica is in full
All right,
on the streaming service. I think there's a lot of Star Trek on there. Definitely Doctor Who,
right.
but I think
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Doctor Who, I must say.
Doctor Who might be a bit of a stretch for you.
Yeah, I mean, I have tried watching it, but no, it's the production qualities are just so awful. I just
I mean,
can't.
they've definitely improved in recent series. When I
Yeah,
when I got a HD television like a year ago,
hmm,
um, and I watched Doctor Who, it felt like I was sitting in a room that was so badly lit, you could tell that you were standing in on like a set. I was just like, oh my god,
yeah,
it's not
exactly.
dated,
Ooh,
but
whoops.
it's still compelling television, I'll say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everyone wants to see my screen here. There we go. Yeah. I accidentally hit the Windows key instead of the Z key.
How you find them when they're like
Yeah.
things
I,
unnecessary?
um, yeah, it is unnecessary for a desktop, but I think the interface still works. I really like the interface. It's a it's a concept you have to get your head around that like um, that interface that you just saw then. That is your start
Yeah,
menu. You don't have a start menu anymore. That is it. But once you can get your head around that concept, I think everything falls into place and it's great.
hmm.
I mean, it's a hell of a lot faster than even Windows 7,
Yeah.
which
Whenever
was
I
that was the
did
selling point for me.
that upgrade, yeah, just the speed of it.
Yeah, I mean, that is the only benefit. I mean, I've installed a couple of Metro apps on this,
Yeah,
but you never use them. You don't need Metro apps when you're on desktop machine. I, it makes complete sense to use them on a tablet device or a mobile device
yeah, yeah,
because it's all about the full screen experience. But when you want Windows and you want space and throwing things around, you just stay in the desktop mode all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, and I only ever go into the Metro interface just to select what program I want to open next.
Hmm.
And the new update that they're bringing out is going to um, is going to address that. I think it's going to basically allow you to make a more desktop focused um, machine, basically, because
Yeah,
it's meant to allow you to um, you can tell it to boot into the desktop mode automatically, and it's going to give you a start button that you can click to open up it instead of having to press the Windows key and things, just little things like that,
yeah,
which will make it work more for the desktop again.
yeah. A lot of it goes back to me with the 360 stuff because they're trying to control a lot more than I'm comfortable with. So like with the
Mm.
Metro apps, it's the same with 360, isn't it? It's they go through the approval process. And for me, it's very much closing off a very free thing.
Yeah, yeah,
They're trying to get Minecraft on there, and you like Mojang guy and refused to complete it.
Yeah, yeah.
For a valid reason, but
Hmm.
it's just one of those.
I just had a text message from my friend in my friend from work. He's a big comic book nerd, and he just said, "I'm watching on my phone, but I can't comment." P.S. Stop talking about sci-fi. Get back to talking about comic books again.
Oh, alright, okay.
Uh,
Well, I'll tell you what I'm reading right now. Right,
mhm.
I'm rereading Pride of Baghdad by
I don't want.
Brian K.
What's that?
Vaughan. It's
Okay.
based on a true story, and the main cast is the Pride of Lions National Zoo,
Okay.
and
Interesting.
it takes place in the war of Iraq. So and so
Ah.
when Baghdad was being bombed, they escaped to the zoo, and basically the effects of war on the city and the inhabitants of the city and the surrounding area.
Wow.
They're
That
trying to be
sounds.
protective of these lions.
Yeah. That
It,
sounds really cool.
and it is a brilliant story, and he's becoming one of my favourite writers, Frank K. Vaughan. He also did Y the Last Man and Deus Ex Machina,
Oh, okay.
or Ex Machina or something. And his recent book, Saga, is fantastic. It's one of those pure imagination stories where it just goes everywhere you would not expect, all over the place.
Right. Right.
It's such a brilliant story.
Yeah, see, these are the sort of things that I used to pick up from you. I used to get to read all the time. You just
Yeah.
occasionally throw something at me and tell me to read it, and it was great. Because yeah, I don't know, I'm not massively into as much as I love comic book heroes. I'm not.
Well,
It's an
yeah,
intimidating universe to try and jump
yeah.
into. Whereas
Well,
these sort of one-off stories and things like Scott Pilgrim and
yeah.
anything else that you've thrown
I can
at me
understand
before
definitely.
is yeah, I really enjoyed reading it.
And for
Even
that
just the
reason,
even,
I would say pick up or read the latest Batman series. If
yeah,
you like heroes but intimidated by the story companies and stuff, it's the new 52 reboot stuff.
right, okay,
And basically reading that, you don't need to read any prior knowledge really, apart from like which Robins are still alive, basically.
right, okay,
Yeah, and it goes from there. The Court of Owls story is brilliant. It's a very self-contained story, but it goes into the kind of the history of Batman and Gotham,
hmm,
but it's very self-contained. So it gives you a very much introduction to the character and kind of takes the character into new places you've probably never seen before.
yeah, 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 that's interesting. Yeah, yeah, I just need to just need to read more comics. I really do.
Mm.
It's a terrible shame. I mean, it's sad that I'm only now just getting myself a copy of what what is my favorite comic book series of
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim. You know, I had to wait until Father's Day to get a copy of it. Um, there was an interesting series that I can't remember the name of now. That was mentioned on that Geek and Sundry comic book
Mm.
vlog. It was about it was the sort of typical princess waiting to be rescued and decide and but then got bored and decided to rescue herself instead and then goes
Ah,
off and becomes
Princessless, is it called?
that something like that. Yeah,
Something like that, yeah.
yeah. And she recommended that and I thought, yeah, that looks dead cool actually. So it's like a really interesting story and an interesting take on the tropes, you know.
Yeah.
But it looked like it had enough comedy to sort of keep me amused and keep me wanting to read.
Yeah.
And I very nearly picked up the digital version because it was going quite cheap. Like the first issue was going really quite cheap, and then
Mm.
I don't know why I didn't. Actually, I probably should go back and look and see if it's still cheap.
That is a real benefit of digital comics. You can pick up like first issues pretty cheaply.
Mm.
So and as I say earlier, a lot of stuff free. I mean, the couple of months ago now, but a Comixology, the digital comics provider,
Yeah.
they did Marvel did 700 number one free issues for free.
Wow.
Like, and it crashed their software a week ago.
Yeah.
I eventually got my comics, but so I just have a ton of comics that I haven't read yet.
Yeah. So what do you read them on? Do you read them on your PC or?
Yeah, just through a browser, or there's an apps on your phone you can usually get.
Yeah.
Or they're on Kindle. They're on everything.
Yeah. Because I mean, I've got the Galaxy Note 2, which is a 5.5-inch screen. So I'd hope that would be quite good for reading on, because it's a big phone screen basically.
Yeah.
And it does 720p, so I'm hoping, that would be sufficient. Because that is the only thing that I'm skeptical about with buying digital comics. Is like, is it quite the same as reading it on paper? And
It's not, but
it's still good.
It's sometimes it's worse. It's not as bad. It's kind of, you can zoom in on the words. You can what happens really? You don't intake the full page as much as you would do when you're reading it normally.
Right. Yeah, you're focusing more on panels rather than the page.
Yeah. So you don't see the kind of overall magic of the panel arrangement, but you can still follow the story very easily.
Yeah.
And you don't get stuff like random book binding where it squashes the art into the middle sometimes, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I never liked that one. Yeah, they cram it into the folder. You can't quite see it properly, and
there are advantages, and the like stuff I want to try out and read is more. It's a couple of stuff that do more kind of, it's web stuff, but it's kind of in like JavaScript through, where you click through the panels and like things happen quite dynamically.
oh right,
Not necessarily a book anymore, but it's still a comic.
yeah.
There's stuff on Thrillbent. It's a website dedicated to it by Mark Wayne, prominent comic book writer. There's stuff on there that's really interesting, just because it's comics, but it's in a very different way. And Thrillbent's a good example. It's all free, so you can just check it out however you want.
Oh, that's cool. I always like free. That's kind of the best price point.
So an introduction to kind of the future of comics is really good. Still,
yeah.
Whether or not it will be the future.
Yeah, well, I know Dark Horse did a series of motion comics, didn't they, for the Geek and Sundry channel? Again, yeah, I'm a bit obsessed with that channel on YouTube. I absorb everything they do.
Yeah.
But I never got into them because it just seemed a bit weird, because they were sort of animating the art and just sort of distorting it a bit to make it move, and it didn't seem.
Yeah, there's some of that's. I think it's a bit too far. That's into motion comics. A bit.
Yeah.
They're different. The stuff on Thrillbent is still comics. It's still
more about animating the panel rather than animating the art.
Yeah, and how you read it, because you're still reading it. You're not watching the video.
Yeah. Right, well, I guess I can just about say that this guy is kind of done. I could probably do more with him, but
I wasn't going to do a background, but
yeah.
we're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd love to post up your finished piece on the blog, and when I do my write up. And just now, of course, we're at 4 viewers now with the when we're thinking of wrapping up.
Well, I can carry on for a bit.
Yeah. Oh no, we dropped down to 1 viewer now. I scared them off. Should have said it. Oh dear. Yeah, I suppose we should wrap it up because I'm gonna have to go pick up my wife at some point this evening.
Yeah. All right. Never say we're
So, but
ending until we're actually ending.
yeah, but no, this has been great. This has been really fun.
Yeah.
And hopefully we will do it again next week. And
Yeah.
hopefully we'll see if we can get Sammy P or someone else involved in some other kind of cool shit.
Yes.
So yeah, okay. Thanks you for anyone that is still watching. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again next time.